I didn't really know much about Sanjay Gandhi till before, I got the character. And it's only when I started, digging deep into who this person was that I understood the kind of impact that person, has left on our history as the country and what kind of a person he was. So when I, dive deep into the psyche of this man, what I understood was this man was a person who had the right intentions. He wasn't like an evil supervillain who said, I'll destroy the world. No, the gentleman who directed Hridayam, Mr. Vineet Srinivasan, was also the producer of my first film. So, we had a working relationship. And when he was making Hridayam, I really wanted to be a part of that film, to find a director who speaks your language, who understands what it feels like to have two or three cameras facing you and to be put on the spot and, to get into character and perform. I have a Malayalam film coming out on the 20th of next month that's called Officer.
Hello, hi Vishak. How are you?
Hello, Siddharth. How are you? Very good.
All good. Firstly, welcome to Take One Filmy and many congratulations. I messaged you as soon as I watched the film. I just couldn't stay away from doing that. Like I was saying, you deserve all the praise, which I'm sure भर भर के ऐसे बारिश हो रही है. People might be showering at you, but I have to say you were so good in the role. Not to make any political statement, but I was hating, meanwhile, maybe I could not understand his perspective. I'm sure that might not be the intention to be hated, but with my perspective, I was like, ugh.
Well,
So how did you get the part?
first of all, I think you having such strong feelings for that character is a pat on my back.
Indeed.
Because I mean, he wasn't in the larger sense. I don't think he has the most positive image out there, and a lot of controversial
Yeah,
decisions. So I think that's a job well done. But how I got the part, to answer your question, happened because of this film called
yeah.
Tejas that I happened to do with Kangana ma'am. And I suppose it was then that we worked together for the first time. And almost a year later, ma'am contacted and asked if I would like to be a part of that film. Her brother Akshit contacted and asked if I'd like to be a part of the film. And yeah, then the rest is history.
History, like literally history. As like literally history, pun intended. But yes, okay. So did you have to audition for it, or you were just straight away being, just called for the role?
We thankfully there wasn't an
Sorry.
typical
Yeah.
audition process. It was more of a screen test process
Right.
because ma'am was very particular about finding an actor who a looks the part, and secondly is also able to pull off the kind of complexities that character had. So getting that look right, I think, was very important for the entire team. So that was, the challenge to get the part. I had to put on some weight to make sure that I looked more like Mr. Sanjay Gandhi than I do in real life. To get my features a little
Yeah.
softer and look the part on screen. So I think that was the major challenge, getting the screen test right. And once that was okay, I think it was all locked and sealed and ready to go.
Wow, but I'm sure, okay, just imagine being told in your life, like, you resemble with Mr. Sanjay Gandhi. I'm not sure that that was something you might have ever heard in your life. Did you?
No, no, absolutely not. And to be very honest with you, Siddharth, I didn't really know much about Sanjay Gandhi till before, I got the
Yeah,
character. And it's only when I started, digging deep into who this person was that I understood the kind of impact that person, has left on our history as the country and what kind of a person he was. So it was very interesting that way to really get into, what made him make the decisions that he did,
yeah.
what drove him to make those decisions. And I think that was the most interesting part for me.
I'm sure very challenging also because I'm not very sure your own perspective as Vishak and the character's perspective would always align. That's always anyway not the case.
Absolutely.
But like how but is it important for you to align with the psyche of the character you're playing, or it's just fine?
No, I think for me, what's most important is that I need to be able to empathize with that character on some level, for me to be able to do it justice. So when I, dive deep into the psyche of this man, what I understood was this man was a person who had the right intentions.
Yeah.
He wasn't like an evil supervillain who said, "I'll destroy the world."
Yeah.
No, and I didn't want him to be portrayed that way as well. I wanted to get into the depths of what made him make those decisions, and the
Yeah.
reason was very simple. It was that he wanted to prove himself.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people know that he was the founder of the brand Maruti, the brand that we all know and love. But he didn't see Maruti become Maruti Suzuki and become the success that it is today. So throughout his life, he was on this constant endeavor to make his mark and to prove himself. However, he did that, it didn't matter to him. So I think that I could relate with. Being an actor, being in this profession, we're always looking out for a way to prove ourselves or to get that validation, or for someone to come and tell you that you did a good job and you're, awesome and talented and whatnot.
Yeah.
So that was something I could really relate to, and that kind of clicked. And from there on, things just fell into place.
Wow. In fact, rightly so, because there's a dialogue in the film. Jab wo, when in New Delhi, the capital of India, when he literally said, "K, how does it look like?" Like, I'm not saying the exact dialogue because I can't, but yeah, how does this? It should look like Manhattan or maybe London, and how does this look like? And that's when the decision. So you're right. Actually, the intentions were not the evil one. The intentions, I'm sure, were coming from a different perspective. But yes, it whatever it turned out to be.
Exactly.
Right. But you are a household name in Malayalam cinema. I think you debuted in 2016 with Anandam, correct me if I'm wrong.
That's right.
Yeah. And you've also worked as a casting director for Hridayam. Were you?
I did, yes.
Or it was a wrong information which I read?
No, you were absolutely on point. The gentleman who directed Hridayam, Mr. Vineet Srinivasan, was also the producer of my first film. So, we had a working relationship. And when he was making Hridayam, I really wanted to be a part of that film in some capacity. And coincidentally, it was around the same time that we were doing Tejas. So I couldn't really, work on it in any other way. But he was kind enough to let me, be a part of it as a casting director.
I love the song of that film, Darshana. But yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, I really like it. But okay, I have to know. Wherever whatever interviews, celeb interviews, or wherever the normal chit chatter you hear, there's one common notion that you'll see people discussing, and it's like, Malayalam cinema ko koi piche nahi chhod sakta in terms of storytelling, writing, and the depth. And the latest example, like we recently had Manjumal Voice, and what do you think that Malayalam cinema is doing right every time when it comes to storytelling?
Right. So, I think what we're going through right now, as far as Malayalam cinema is concerned, is a golden period. But what a lot of people in the rest of the country don't know is that Malayalam cinema always made a lot of path-breaking films, even in the 80s and the 90s. Yes, we did have a bit of a dip in the early 2000s, late 90s, but we came back with a bang with a lot of films that were out in the early to mid 2000s. But what I think sets Malayalam cinema apart is the fact that, like you rightly pointed out, the quality of the writing and the quality of the authenticity in the stories that are being told. The stories are very relatable. These are stories that can happen to any of us. And these are stories that deal with very basic, very core, very universal themes.
Yep.
So I think that's why, regardless of the language, even you sitting in Mumbai or others in any other part of the country can still relate to those characters and enjoy those films.
Indeed.
Because they come from a place of, core relatability and truth.
Right. And actually true. I recently watched The Great Indian Kitchen. It's a much talked about film, and it's like such simple but deep and yet deeply rooted films actually anyone can relate to. Coming back to Emergency, you said you prepared the role, but we're not taught much about this period in schools. So there is obviously I think it's loosely based on a book, to be honest. But still, you can't base the character just on a book. I'm sure there's a lot of other research that you might have done to make it look so flawless. How actually did you prep for the role for Mr. Sanjay Gandhi?
It was a couple of things. The most challenging thing was getting his, or at least trying to understand his physicality, his body language, how he held his, I believe everyone has a, like what we call as Thahi Bhav. Which is what is, everyone's neutral expression, once I'm of the belief that once you crack that, then, everything else is up or, below from there. So getting to that and understanding, his physicality was very difficult because he was a very enigmatic person. He hadn't given many interviews or things like that. So it was a lot of archival footage, Reuters, Associated Press, and a lot of news and media agencies had very old footage of this gentleman doing, rallies in UP or going for public functions and things like that. But like, I'm sure you agree when, how I am, on a public platform and how I am when I'm with my family and friends or in an intimate setting is very different.
It is, for sure.
How we talk, how we sit, everything changes. So there I had to use a little bit of imagination. There were, I think, one or two videos that helped me, but there again, it had to go back to understanding what made this guy tick. And well, coincidentally, the answer to that question lay in a book called The Sanjay Story by Mr. Vinod Mehta, that gave a very deep understanding of who this person really was. And I felt that was the most important thing. How to humanize this person, because it's easy to paint someone as a bad guy or a good guy or a whatever it is. But like what Ma'am did with Mrs. Gandhi, where it's not just a great leader, or neither is this person an evil dictator. It's somewhere in between. And why she made those decisions is what the film delves into. Correct. So in the same way, I wanted to do this character justice in that way, and not just make him a villain for the sake of making him a villain. Make him a human being. And human beings are inherently heroes and villains. We all have a bad guy and a good guy inside of us. And getting to that was the important part. Yeah.
But I have to say, when Emergency released, we all knew, we had all seen the जब तक ट्रेलर नहीं आया था about Kangana playing Indira Gandhi, Indira Gandhi, the character so flawlessly. But then I'm being very honest, we did not expect, right? We just expected it'll be just a Kangana Ranaut playing and all that. But you emerged out to be a pleasantly surprised package.
Thank you so much.
So Kangana also directed it. I would like to ask, actually, Kangana the actor or Kangana the director, which one would you like watch?
Oh, that's an incredibly difficult choice. It's an incredibly difficult choice because we all know, I mean, she's a four-time national award winner. She's one of the finest, if not the finest, actress in our country. And but to see her direct was something else altogether, because she's an actor, right? So she knows how to talk to actors. And that's something that is incredibly difficult as an actor to come by. To find a director who speaks your language, who understands what it feels like to have 2 or 3 cameras facing you and to be put on the spot and to get into character and perform. So she understood that, and therefore her method to direction, especially directing actors, was something that completely blew me away, because I've been doing this for in cinema for almost 8-9 years, and I can literally count on my fingertips the number of directors who've directed me like that. And I would definitely say she's right up there with the best of the best in terms of directing actors in that capacity, and even her technical skill for that matter. I mean, she was working with some incredible technicians. The DOP had won awards at Cannes, and he's won awards at the Caesar Awards. Mr. Sheetal Sharma is a national award winner himself. Music director is a very accomplished music director. So to handle such immense talent and play the orchestra is what a director does. And she did that so beautifully, and which is why the film's come out the way it has.
I know what you're saying, I'm sure. But that's again commendable. But do you remember any of her films? Like, which one, if I have to ask, like for me personally, her Tanu Veds Manu Returns is something I don't think anyone can beat that in terms of playing double role. But do you have any personal favorite of hers?
I think it has to be Queen. It has to be Queen for me, and closely followed by Fashion. Because I remember when I watched Fashion, I was blown away by this, this petite, beautiful young girl who just completely commanded every second she was on screen, the kind of power that she exuded, and I thought that was an incredible character to play. But when she did Queen, and she completely grounded that, larger than life figure into this very relatable, sweet character, that to me proved that she was an incredibly versatile and incredibly capable actor. And in fact, I just watched Queen a month or so ago, my wife and I, for the hell of it, and we still enjoyed it. And her performance and her film and the film as a whole, it holds strong even today. You know, so many
Yes,
years
it
after it
does.
came out.
Does.
So I think that's a testament to her talent and her
Yeah.
hard work.
Amazing. That's true. Actually, fashion, even that's, I forgot to mention that.
Yeah,
That's one of my favorites too.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
remember that shot, no, where she walks on the ramp and she comes and she spreads her arms and stands there, and I get goosebumps just thinking about it right now. It was incredible.
I know. You know how Priyanka Chopra's character said it? That's Sher Shonali Gujral, the diva. And yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But Vishak, when you're an actor and you associate yourself with projects, right? So do you, okay, so when you're choosing a project,
yeah.
is it exactly based on, absolutely based on what the character is like, or you're choosing, for example, real characters and fictional characters like any other characters, or you distinguish between them? Why I'm asking this is because films like, you know what's happening today. Picture aati nahi hai, trailer aata nahi hai, people get opinions first, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
films like maybe Article 370 or the Kerala Story, Kashmir Files,
yeah,
as soon as, or maybe any political drama also,
yeah,
Swatantra Veer Savarkar release, um,
yeah.
they are term propaganda films.
Hmm.
So as an actor, for you, I'm sure it's not just about the entire, obviously it's the entire film also, but you're also a part of the story. You're not maybe having an outside look from that. You are also internally present.
Hmm.
So as an actor, is that decision difficult to make, or how do you go about it when you're approached for such characters or stories?
So that for me, ultimately, it boils down to one thing, and that is the
Yeah.
script, that is the screenplay,
Acha.
because that is the foundation from which this entire thing is built up,
Bas.
correct?
Yeah.
Like,
Storytelling.
yeah, a lot of people believe a screenplay is a finished document. It's not a finished document. It's an invitation to collaborate on a creative project. That's what a screenplay
Wow.
is, correct?
That's an
So,
amazing description.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
But I strongly believe in
Yeah.
that, and I believe that no matter how many superstars there are, no matter what the budget is, no matter who's directing it, whatever, if the script is not good, then no matter what you do, that film cannot be elevated to beyond a certain level, right?
Right.
So when Emergency came to me, like what you very rightly said, because of this, and I think it's a social construct, and it's a social thing where we're very sensitive to these issues today, and especially being in the public sphere, I too have to be sensitive about these things, right? But when I read the script, I was blown away, and right then and there I decided that this is a very intimate character study of a very complicated, powerful woman,
Right.
and that is a story that I, as an audience member, want to watch.
Wow.
So ultimately, when I read a script, if I want to watch that movie, I will say to you, say yes to it, regardless of what the size of the role is, regardless of whatever it is. If it's a film I want to watch, I will do it. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
And I think it's best to not overcomplicate it.
Yeah.
Because if you think of too many things, and if you think of, oh my God, log kya kahenge, yaar, is demographic ke saath, how will it, work out, and all of those things, then it'll just, take away from your authenticity as an individual and as an artist. Being an artist or being an actor, I'm in an extremely privileged position to do the work that I love,
Yeah.
and
So,
every time I'm on set, it is a gift to me.
yeah.
So when I'm there, I want to be enjoying it. I want to be fully committed to it, and I want to be able to give my 100% without an modicum of
Wow.
doubt. And all of that boils down to one thing: the script. So the
Wow.
moment I read
Wow.
it, I decided that this is an incredible script, and this is a story that has to be told, and that was the only reason that won me over, and I had to do it after that.
Wow, amazing. And I'm glad you said this. That's very well said. You're happy at your job, and trust me, not many people can say this. Like, I love my job. That's again, it's a very simple statement,
But
but
it's a
a
gift.
luxury.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a luxury. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And a lot of your fans are waving. Meanwhile, can you just say hi?
Hello, everybody. I just want to say thank you
Yeah.
to all of you. Honestly, have been overwhelmed for the last couple of days with all of the love that you guys have been sending my way, and it really means a lot to me. It really means a lot to my wife, my family, to all of us, because we these are the things that keep an artist like me going, and I really hope and pray that I will continue to give you guys performances that will keep you guys going and supporting me. And this has been fabulous. So thank you so much.
Amazing. thank you. And I asked you to do it because they would have else otherwise like abused me. It was like you're keep talking. हम hi बोल रहे हैं, hi तो बोलने दे कम से कम एक बार.
But hi,
You're
everybody.
waving at you. Yeah. Okay. So is there any dream director that you have? You feel like, okay, I really want to work with this filmmaker.
That's a long list, is that? But yes, I mean, if I were to say just off the top of my head, Mani Ratnam sir, for sure, Rajamouli sir, Vishal Bharadwaj sir, Vikramaditya Motwane, yeah, so many directors who have inspired me throughout my career, and these people are, someone saying Nolan, of course Nolan, but let's baby steps, So I think these gentlemen and some amazing directors were there and making amazing work, and it would be a gift to just be a part of any of their films. So yeah.
Amazing. Meanwhile, guys who are watching, please do comment now. Which director would you want Vishak to collaborate with? मैं तब तक आगे बढ़ता हूँ. Okay, what's next? What's coming up next?
So what's next is I have a Malayalam film coming out on the 20th of this month. Oh, sorry, of next month. That's called Officer.
Okay.
Have you watched this movie called Nayat? It was one of those films that did really well during COVID time.
I would love to. What's the name?
Nayattu. Nayat. It's a fantastic film. So this film that's coming out now is written by the same writer, and it's produced by the director of Nayat, and it's got this very prolific actor from South India called Kunjaka Boban in the lead. So I'm very excited about that. Again, I'm playing a bad guy. I don't know why bad guys are following me, but I'm playing a villain role in that in that film as well. And after that, there's this other project which I did for Yash Raj. It's a series called Akka that'll be out on Netflix sometime around the middle of the year. But yeah, that's a very sweet, very nice, very lovable boy next door character. So that's a different side, I suppose.
It's with Kirti and Kirti Suresh and Radhika Apte, right?
Yes, with Kirti and Radhika Apte, and yeah, a lot of very senior actors in it as well.
Wow. Wow, amazing. Can't wait to watch, what's coming up next. And I love the fact that, because as far as I've interacted and whatever the little amount of brief interaction I've had with you, you're anything but bad. But no, I don't want to say anything but bad, but you're anything but that.
But you know what, Siddharth, like I was saying earlier, I'm very fortunate to be in this profession because I get to live many lifetimes. I get to, explore my shadow side. I get to go and do bad things on screen and, feel good about it. But then in real life, be a decent human being.
And satisfy your inner evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's an outlet for all of those, intrusive thoughts and all of that. Yeah.
Amazing. And I can't wait to watch again, like I said, what comes up next. Many congratulations once again.
Thank you.
Whoever has watched Emergency, great. Whoever has not, please go out and watch it. It's a must watch. Educational, informational, yet entertaining. That's how I think I would summarize it. But all the best, and see you soon.
See you soon. See you at the movies, and I'll talk to you very soon. And thank you, everybody.
Let me know whenever you are in Mumbai.
Absolutely.
We'll do another chit chat session. A detailed
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and all the best. And have a good day. Bye.
You too. Bye.